Alrighty, guys, what is up? So, day 7 recap. Weight for today 218.2. So, we're down a quarter pound. I'll take it. It is going in the right direction. So, which makes a little sense though, because as per yesterday's training, I was thinking about doing that back day after the cardio session, showered, everything else, feeling the way everything felt. Just a little too sore. A little too sore to go hit that effectively. So, we took our rest day. So, that really ended up being our first rest day so far out of the 7 days. So, I'm not planning on specifically taking consistent rest days per se, but they are going to come here and there as the body kind of asks for it, right? Because sometimes you just may not feel all that sore. You could just go in and go hit it. Other times you're going to feel like the body's a little down. Central nervous system's a little cooked. Muscles are a little tired and cooked. So, now, obviously, can't have like 2 rest days in a row, shit like that. That's not going to fly. And even if I have a rest day, still go do cardio. So the walk doesn't change. It's just whether or not I lifted. So, we didn't lift yesterday. Obviously, that's going to be, some calories not burned, which makes sense. So, rest to me, is, it's not optional. You do have to have it. The moment while I'm trying to figure out all the little details of my new training block, right? Because this is kind of the first week of going through, designing it, kind of setting it up, hitting it, see how each day kind of feels, which today will be the second back day, right, of the rotation, which is going to have some heavier movements in it. Heavy low row, probably heavy lat pull down machine, I'm thinking. Probably do some actual lat pull downs, because the machine for me, the grip ends up kind of being a little narrow. So I do want to get some wide bar lat pull downs in. So we'll end up having to do both, because they target definitely very different. The machine for me kind of hits mid upper lat and into the inner trap. If I pull it all the way down, I could get a little bit of like rhomboid and rear delts in it. But if I go wide grip lat pull down cable, then I get a lot more mid and lower lat involved, and like the very bottom of the inner traps. So, 2 very different feeling movements that kind of definitely hit my lats very differently, just from where the hand placement is and like the, I guess, movement point of where the weight is moving from. So that is going to be a big thing there. And then we'll figure out the rest as kind of think about it before I go. But you'll see what that ends up being on tomorrow's video. So now with rest, I was thinking initially maybe 3 on, 1 off. But at the same time, like I kind of feel like the reason why I've been doing 3 on, 1 off is because of the strength block I was in. Now, coming into hypertrophy, like, it doesn't really require as much time for recovery as the strength block did. Like, I'm a little more sore, but the soreness goes away a lot faster. So, and then the overall, like, central nervous fatigue, even though I'm going to failure, isn't as high because the sheer loads are lower. So, I don't really get a lot of CNS problems when I'm training in a hypertrophy block. Now, when I'm in a strength block, I'll run into days where, like, I just can't squeeze stuff very hard. The drive off the ground or something in the deadlift, it's just not there. Like, the muscles aren't firing completely. Things like that. So, it does happen, which makes sense, because when you're hitting 1 rep maxes, you're firing everything in its 100% capacity. And that includes your brain, your spinal cord, and everything else, and all your little synapses and all that stuff, right? That stuff's all getting worked out too, just like the muscles. So, but in hypertrophy, that sheer like load response is not as high. So, I never really get those problems in hypertrophy. Now, I'm not sure if I want to do 3 on, 1 off still. Because the reason why is it's like, okay, well, that off day, could I just fill it up with just like a straight arm day? Arms aren't very taxing, right? They recover really quickly. And if, say, I do arms as an off day, quote unquote, and then I hit shoulders the next day, I don't really need the biceps and triceps much, other than for like maybe dumbbell overhead press or machine overhead press, which is what I'm currently hitting. And with that, I mean, in reality, the delts are pretty weak, right? So I can tell you right now, my triceps are not going to be the failure point for overhead presses. It's just not. They're super strong compared to my delts. So because of that, I don't think having an arm day and then a shoulder day is going to be detrimental, right? So, and then if, say, I use that as a rest day, and then since I'm trying to do, shoulders, back, chest twice a week, is it then more viable to still have my 1 leg day more or less be my rest day, right? Because if I'm only going to hit legs once a week, I don't have to worry about the compounding fatigue on the legs, because it's only going to come around once every 7 days. So I'm thinking, quote unquote, my rest days will actually end up being a leg day and a dedicated arm day. I think we'll give it a shot over, the next 7 days and see how that really kind of goes, and if it's repeatable. If it is, then sweet, I get to kind of hit it every day, burn a little extra calories, and I'm making sure I'm getting to hit back, chest, delts twice a week. My arms are getting a little extra attention because the biceps can use them. It's definitely a weak point. So It seems like it'd be very beneficial to be able to use a rest day as a non high stress day, because the leg days I'm currently doing, it's going to be basically like leg extensions, leg curls, hip thrusts, hip adductor, glute kickback machine, and seated or barbell calf raises. I'm not looking for anything high load per se that's a compound lift. So I'm not too worried about leg press at the moment. I'm not doing any barbell movement, because if I can isolate the quads and just beat them down on the leg extension machine, do the same with the hamstrings, which is going to create the most volume and blood pushed into them. And I cannot max those machines yet for sets. So I can still progressively overload those, making them stronger, which is going to create more growth. I don't see a need for the big compound lifts, other than they're kind of functional, right? But as for overall functional strength, kind of already okay with where I just ended my strength block. You know, hit a 350 squat and a 485 deadlift. That's good for me. So, in the path of trying to, avoid injury, I feel like that's the best plan of effort there. And then back day, one of them will still have back extensions. So I'm still working the erectors, that upper glute area. So it's not getting ignored. It's just becoming isolated and more controlled. So I think that'll be overall better factor, since I don't really need that entire posterior chain activation. But now, if we get into this and we start feeling extra sore, we're not really recovering, exercises kind of petering out per se, then we know that we have to have a rest day. At least one, possibly two. So, then the other thing with this too is, since I am taking Sermorelin, you kind of either take it like 5 days on, 2 days off, or what I'm going to do, which is 3 on, 1 off. It kind of makes it easy to go, okay, my harder days, where we're going to be moving. How you doing today? Where we're moving the big lacking muscle groups, right? Or what we want to be the largest. So our chest, back, and shoulders will be injection days. So Sermorelin is a peptide that is a signaling peptide. So it just tells your body, hey, create more growth hormone, IGF-1. So I want to be able to take advantage of that and use it on the days that I go ahead and train the muscles I want to make the most progress in currently, right? So, other than that arm day, that's going to be specific, I still have biceps on other days and triceps on other days. So they're still going to get the benefit from it. Now, the way it kind of works with that is you take it a little while before you go to sleep, 30 minutes to an hour or so, and then you go to sleep. Your body releases the most amount of growth hormone at night while you're in recovery and rest. So again, that's where this rest stuff kind of comes in yet, right? Because it's not specifically just your rest days, it's your nightly sleep and routine. So the 3 nights I've taken it so far, my sleep was actually way deeper and way more restful, like ridiculously different. So because of that, since your body's going to recover at nighttime from the exercise you just did, right? It makes more sense to me to take the Sermorelin on the days that I just had the most, per se, intense workouts. That's going to provide the highest amount of muscle damage, right? Which is going to come from doing chest, back, and delts. So that's the way I'm looking at rest. That's kind of how I have it all planned out. Now, it also means, you want to make sure you're getting enough sleep time as well. You don't want to try to have your window of sleep so short that you can't rest and recover long enough. Because, yeah, sure, your REM sleep period is very short compared to your total time sleeping, right? But some people, it takes a couple of hours to get to their REM sleep. Other people, they pass out. 20 minutes later, they're in REM. They have their few hours of it, and then the rest is just rest. So, depending upon how you sleep and everything else, that's a big factor. Because if you're never getting to your REM sleep, or you're cutting it short because you're not in bed long enough sleeping, then you're having a few problems there, right? So, but with that, I'm going to go ahead and leave it off, guys. So make sure you're out there working towards your goals, getting your stuff done, and most of all, just don't be a lazy fuck.